Hi, Eden.
Hi, Brock.
Okay, so we've been on our break. We're on our second episode back.
Yeah.
And I forgot to do this last episode, but I've been taking, I made a whole notes list of happenings that happened with me during our hiatus. And now that we're back, I wanted to fill you in on those.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Okay, yeah. So you know that coffee bean where you broke up with your high school boyfriend?
Of course, the one in Encino on Ventura.
Yeah. I drove by it 3 times in 1 week. Additionally, I tried a new bagel spot called Bagel Boss. Hated it. Went there 2 more times after that.
That's, I think, my mom's favorite place.
Okay, so I'm a snorer, and we knew it was an issue when I was snoring and Cameron said, because I usually am on my back, and so he'll shove me, and so then I'm on my stomach to stop snoring, and then 3 seconds after I was on my stomach, continued to snore, so he said, we have an issue. So
sat you down for a meeting in one of your quarterly meetings.
Correct, one of our quarterly meetings. You know, we had I was taking the notes. There's magnets you put on the outside of your nose, and then this strip, so it like opens your airways, so you don't snore anymore. We're still fine tuning that, but we're in the process of using magnets to stop snoring.
Next item.
Next item. I had a celebrity sighting. Kate Mara at Saint Coffee Shop. She was on her phone in front of the trash can, and I just went, "Excuse me," and I had to, drop my trash in the trash can that she was blocking. Didn't move, didn't look up from her phone, but saw her.
I mean, she's no Jeff Probst.
She's no Jeff Probst. And I got cargo pants. That's what you missed. That's what you missed. That's what you missed on Glee.
I can't believe it. I have a similar updates.
Oh, please.
Well, I drove by a Starbucks that I don't know if you've ever been to. I drove by it every day because because it's close to my house.
Okay. Yep.
End of update on that one.
No major life events took place in there, though? Just a normal Starbucks?
No, just my kids. I also stopped. I mean, I did continue. I've stopped getting out of the car to pretend to get quote-unquote Starbucks bars for my kids.
Okay.
Now we just drive to that Starbucks, and I take out the bars that I've previously purchased from Costco that they call Starbucks bars.
Good.
And I say, we got them delivered to the car, and I just give them to them. It's an insane thing. But that development is good. I no longer have to pretend to get out of the car.
Great.
Okay, this isn't something that actually happened during the break, but it just reminded me of this. Mm-hmm. One time I went out to dinner. This was a few months ago. Went out to dinner and saw Chris Pine at a restaurant. And he
Kate Mara who? Chris Pine.
Mara who?
Okay,
and
go.
He sent back his pasta because it was too al dente.
A little crunchy,
which I was like, okay, with your weak teeth, Chris Pine, what do you mean too al dente?
Oh my God.
I should say this. I think someone was with me, that joke about his weak teeth. But so there was that.
Okay.
And I got 2 pairs of pants. I actually took them from a job from Zara Europe. Like,
ooh.
So they fit me different and they fit me.
That's where my cargo pants are from.
Really?
From Zara.
Wow, Brock, we're so in sync.
We're so Eden. I hate to tell the listeners we're so trendy. I hate to break it down. But I'm so glad to be coming home to you, and I'm so glad to be recapping Homecoming episode 202. This is these transitions just get more insane as the show progresses.
As they should.
And we have we're in the time machine. We just finished our interview with our guest. His name's Werner Walian. He's our line producer, and you're going to get a peek behind the curtain. I'm so excited.
He's fantastic. I'm so excited for you all to hear all that and so much more. So Brock, let's get to middling.
Welcome to Middling with Eden and Brock, where Eden and I break down an episode of The Middle each and every week. Have you watched your Night Court episode yet?
No.
What? Eden!
Here's the thing. Here's the problem I'm realizing. Once I don't watch it immediately, because I filmed it. Like, I filmed it. And because it's a multicam, you see a few of the scenes, you see them aired on set. Because, like, when you film in front of a live audience, the scenes you don't film, they show so that the audience has some context for the rest of the episode. So I've seen a few of the scenes, and I think I do get a little. Nick was like, "Can we watch your episode tonight?" And I think if I wait too long, I get the thrill of it. I'm so excited for it, but then I get self-conscious because I start thinking about it, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to. I don't know. I get really like, even I'm 33 years old. I shouldn't care. And I'm like, maybe Nick will watch it first. Like, what if it's bad? What if I'm bad? I don't know. It's really weird. Something happened. So I need to just rip off the Band-Aid. I need to just do it.
I never want to tell you your feelings aren't valid, but your feelings aren't valid. You're great.
I think I need that. No, I need that sometimes.
I watched. It's great. I had no idea. There's a fun reveal. Is it the tag? The very last scene of the episode where you think your character's one way, but then it flips it on its head. It's so fun. There's a fun reveal in the tag. So if you haven't seen it, it's called Pension Tension, right?
Pension Tension on Peacock. My episode of Night Court. I remember filming it, and it was lovely. Brock tells me that it also edited together really lovely.
Can confirm.
So I would check it out. It was so fun.
Did you watch the Oscars last night?
Okay, funny story about the Oscars. So we turn on the Oscars.
Yeah.
And my kids, even though they've never seen Wicked, we listen to Wicked a lot. And their aunt got them these dresses from Target, these like Wicked dresses, Alphabet and Galinda dresses, the pink and the black dresses. Of course. And one of my kids is absolutely obsessed with them. And so they love Loathing. I know it's called What Is This Feeling? But they are obsessed with Loathing. They love wearing their dresses. They love Alphabet and Glinda. They have the whole thing. Like, and then we listen to the movie soundtrack. We listen to both versions back to back because they like the Elsa version and then they like the movie version. Which is a hack in case you didn't know. In case you want to stop listening to Frozen, just tell your kid you have bonus Frozen
Elsa
content
material, yeah.
and just play them Wicked. Play them Idina Menzel. But I was like, oh my God, I turned it on and it was Ariana Grande. And I was like, oh my God, children, gather around the television. It's Galinda. Look at this. And then we saw Elphaba. They were entranced. They loved it. They were like, is that Galinda? Is that Elphaba? They absolutely loved it. Defying Gravity is one of their favorite songs.
Oh, good.
They loved it. Great. I was like, oh, this is going to be so nice. We'll get to, I don't want to stick them in front of the TV for too much, but I want to see a little bit of this and they're going to love it too.
It was giving very, what you just did, Maria from Sound of Music. Like, come children, let me educate you through music. Gather round, children. Let's watch, let's sing along.
Then, do you remember what the intro was? What Conan O'Brien's intro of him?
Of him crawling out of Demi Moore.
Yes. So then that happens, and I see my child be traumatized for life. One of my kids like can't look away, and the other one literally runs into Nick's lap and goes, why did the man come out of the man's body?
Oh my God. I love that they called Demi Moore a man. I love it.
I know. They call everything. I think they thought it was, and I was like, oh, sweetheart, was that a little scary? And she goes, no. And she goes, let's turn off the TV. And just turns off the TV.
There you go.
Yeah.
It was fine, but I'm not fun to be around because my friends, they were, because they talk, and I'm notorious. I'm like, I like to be in my zone.
We should watch TV together.
I mean, we should, because Cameron went over to one of my friends' houses, and I got invited, and I said, Jonathan, I'm a drip. You do not want me there. And Cameron said, well, I'm going to go. He goes, I don't want to be around you. You kind of get mean. I was watching some of the red carpet interview stuff, and I was like, that's a bad question. I was like, I could do better. I could do better than that.
You should do.
He was meandering, and I was like, did you see Conclave? I was like, I could talk more comprehensively about it, and I haven't seen the film.
God, you should get a job as a side hustle. You should be like Lance Bass on the red carpet.
I would love that. I think
You'd
I
be
would
so
enjoy
good.
that.
You'd be so good.
I would enjoy that. And also just who are you wearing?
Yes.
I pull from Joan Rivers, my icon, when she used to do it.
Yes, I mean, you literally did her for your SNL audition.
Oh, God. You just made me so upset.
All right, then let's get to some reminders.
Okay, some reminders. Remind them.
Quick reminders. Now through this Friday, March 7th, if you use the promo code MIDDLE50 on our Patreon, you will get 50% off your first month subscription for Patreon. That is patreon.com/middlingpod or our link in any of our socials bio.
Yeah.
And buy tickets to my one-woman show using the promo code SITCOM. You will get 2 for 1.
Yeah, and that's this Sunday.
That is this Sunday, March 9th at 4:30 and 7:30 p.m.
Yay.
Either one of them. Brock will be there. I won't tell you which one, but Brock is coming, and I'm reserving him a seat.
I'll tell them.
Okay. He's going to be in the front row so that I can see his beautiful face, and I will feel comforted when I'm nervous.
I can't wait. So that's middle 50 for our Patreon, sitcom for Eden's show. And if you're, we just got the confirmation email from her a couple days ago for our Ehlert's bonus episode. If you're part of that Ehlert's exclusive, that top tier, Casey Burke, who plays Cindy, the infamous Cindy, presumably who Brick marries, is gonna be our guest for our bonus episode. The bonus episode will come out on Sunday, March 30th, and again, that's only for the Ehlert's tier. It's not one of the ones you can do a one-off buy, but we have Casey, and we're kind of going back and forth because we're like, what episode do you want to recap? Because you're in a lot of them, and I was like, I want to hear all the stories you have. Which episode can we do? So we're kind of deciding which one we're going to do, but we do have her confirmed. I'm very excited for it.
Very exciting. So, on that note, let's get to some middle minutes. All right, we have episode 202, Homecoming. When she discovers that Sue's first cross-country meet is the same day as Axel's homecoming game, Frankie's dream of escorting Axel across the field is put in jeopardy. Meanwhile, Mike has Brick rake up the leaves in the backyard and is surprised, but he shouldn't be, when Brick wants to release them in the forest instead of taking them to the dump.
Written by Rob Yulin and directed by stud muffin Ken Whittingham.
Ooh. We've got, and also I just need to say, my green self was like, the dump, just compost them.
Sure.
Why wouldn't you take them to the compost? Shouldn't you guys have a compost heap? You've got a backyard in there. Anyway, guest cast for this episode. We've got Chris Kattan as Bob, Brian Doyle Murray as Mr. Ehlert, Greg Cromer. Also, we got a lot of tall drinks of water happening in this episode. As Coach Emerson, his second episode. He's getting funnier. They're really developing his character. Mm-hmm. And Bo Wyrick as Sean Donahue and John Gammon as Darren. What are you talking about? They were in this episode?
I was wondering, we didn't talk about it when we were doing it with Warner. They are in when Axel goes down and they're huddled. They each have one singular line where Darren's like, Mrs. Heck? And then Sean goes, Mrs. Heck, great dress.
Go to your mom's here. Good evening, Mrs. Heck. Lovely dress.
Axel, sweetie, are you okay?
Please tell me I'm dead.
I 100% thought those were 80-yard lines. They were actually in the episode? Those were them in those helmets?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay, this aired on Wednesday, September 29th, 2010 at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central to 8.35 million viewers. Tiny dip, but like considering the premiere to episode 202, fantastic that we stayed that high.
That's higher than any episode in season 1, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, good for us. The top movie of the week was Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. Mm-hmm. Sure. And top song of the week is Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars. Great.
Just Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. It's Shia LaBeouf. And
it's not.
When I was looking it up, I said, all right, if you say so. I don't remember.
I'm so confused. It's not Leonardo. Wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio in one of those movies?
No, you're thinking of Titanic.
I really wanted to be like, no, you're thinking of The Big Short. And then it's like, you're not even thinking of that. No, you're not. You're still just thinking of, I guess, Titanic. What am I thinking of? No, not Catch Me If You Can. He wasn't in any Wall Street
No,
movie.
he was in Wolf of Wall Street.
A Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so I'm not totally loony. Well,
Yeah.
I am, but not for that reason. All right, let's get to this episode with the fabulous Werner.
Eden, our first guest of season 2, is an integral part of our show. He was in charge of the budget and the production logistics, and he did it all while being a tall drink of water in dark blue jeans. His credits span tons of shows, including, which I don't think I actually knew until I did my homework, Werner, the entire run of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Three Sisters, Mr. Mayor, Platonic, which we were just talking about for Apple TV, our spinoff, Susu in the City, and of course, the middle. He's our line producer. All 9 years. He's our line producer. Please welcome Werner Walian.
Hey. Great seeing
Werner,
you guys.
I was telling you before we started recording, I've been clamoring to get you on here because I love hearing about, and I think our audience does too, of they can get, on-set stuff from like Eden and I, but like how production actually works. Baby, the ins and the outs.
Yeah. And it always ends up being the most interesting interview, honestly, because we think we know, and then even after 9 years, I'm like, oh, you know what? No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
So because we know this much and our audience maybe doesn't know anything, will you, Werner, just fill us in on what a line producer does?
Yeah, it varies from show to show. Overall, layman's term, it's really the operations manager, and then throw in some babysitting, some therapist work, handyman, troubleshooting, everything that can be thrown at you, you deal with. But at the end of the day, a true line producer, they call it line producer because it's the line item in the budget. To make sure that the show, series, movie is just on track and doesn't fall off the rails. And I've been fortunate enough in my career to be able to be involved on the creative end, so it's not just budget. Be involved in editing, be involved in a lot of other creative aspects. So that's where I've really enjoyed my job, because I get to get my hands in everything, and it's been a blast. I've been doing it for 35 years, and I still love it.
That's incredible. And it shows. It shows because you're quite good at it.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I would like to share a quick anecdote just because it relates to what just happened in real life 5 minutes ago. I was a little late to this record session. I was a little late for reasons doesn't matter. But I remember one of my most vivid memories. It was formative. It was traumatizing, but formative in a good way for me. My biggest memory of Werner in season, I don't know what season it was. It must have been it was later on. It must have been maybe season 5, 6. I don't know. It was late enough.
Do you have any idea what she's about to say, Werner?
Maybe.
I'm actually so curious if you think. I'm curious what you think I'm about to say.
Did it have to do with surfing?
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Okay. All right. There's another story. Go ahead.
Oh, my God. I actually want to know what your experience was of when I showed up set. Like, I got a broken foot. No. I overslept one day. I'm a perpetually 5 minutes late person. I've now experienced people who are like fully half an hour, hour and a half late for things. And I'm like, I'm not that. I have a problem, but I don't have that kind of problem. But I feel like I was always a few minutes late, whatever. But that one morning, I fully overslept. I like really, my alarm just it must have gone off. I overslept through it. I don't know what happened. But I showed up to set like, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes late. And I was in the first scene, and it was like, I knew what had happened. As soon as I woke up and it was 7:15 and I was like, I was supposed to be at set at 6:18. I was like, I like woke up and I saw like 27 missed calls, and I just like rushed there. I was just like in a stupor, just like, and I got to set, got to hair and makeup, did whatever. We all got it. And after the first take or after the first setup, and we were like, okay, we're turning around. Eileen or someone was like, hey, Werner's here. Jeff Pilato was like, Werner's on set. And if Werner's on set, that's not good. Like, Werner is here to talk to you. And I was like, oh no, I know exactly what this is. And you came to me, and I know that you were prepared to be like, hey, whatever the talk was, like, you really can't, you have to show up on time. And I approached you approached me, we approached each other, and I immediately started bawling. Oh. And I could see in your face that you were like, all right, how do I tell her, like, she already feels bad, but like, we gotta settle this. Like, you can't come to work 45 minutes late when you're in the first scene. And I just remember being like, I'm sorry, Werner, I'm so sorry, I know, I'm really sorry, it won't happen again, I don't know what happened. You're like, all right, I gotta go.
Do you remember this, Werner?
I do, and I think we might have even sent some people to your place. We might have. I think Transpo or a PA or somebody, because we were obviously worried. You're not picking up the phone. You're late. That's always our first thought. What's going on? Then when we find out you overslept, then we deal with it. It's funny because that has been a huge part of my producing over the years, dealing with tardiness.
Sure.
Yeah.
And in a single camera, show like The Middle, it costs money, really, at the end of the day, because we have a crew standing and waiting, and their clock started earlier, and we also have to make the day, which you guys know what that's all about. We need to get all the material we schedule for that day done that day, so that we can stay on schedule and get the show finished within the week. And other things happen to slow you down. Sometimes we have, equipment failure and things like that. So things happen. But tardiness is always a tough one, because that one you can control. And
sure.
And like you said, that amount of time, at the end of the day wasn't horrendous. But there are stories of people 2, 3, 4 hours, can't find them. I've heard those horror stories. And that's really frustrating from a production standpoint, because everybody's professional. Everybody shows up on time. We all have a job. Things happen. We've all in our lives have been late for something. It happens. You get stuck in traffic. You didn't give yourself enough time. It's happened to me. But I do remember that.
I'll never forget it.
It's probably hard with something like that. You say like babysitting or having to take on a lot more than sitting there with a pencil and crunching numbers as part of your job. It's probably not something how to do, even if you know that it will probably come down the line, but how to do it, or how you personally as Werner are going to tackle it versus someone you've seen that you've worked for in the past or something like that. And I think a lot of, we always say, and I think a lot of, whenever I hear these interviews of other shows and stuff, they're like, our show was one big happy family. But the truth of the matter is that ours was, and I think a lot of it is because with someone like you, who your job is, the numbers and the creativity and the actual like running of things, of the operations, you don't necessarily quote unquote need to be the nicest person on set. And yet when you enter that situation with Eden and you approach it with professionalism, but grace and kindness, that makes all the difference, I think.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I started off working on sets as a PA, and I've seen the screamers and the shouters and the tantrums and how people treat people. And I've always, said, look, if I ever get this opportunity, there are ways to talk to people and treat people. And, maybe once a year I would blow up.
Sure.
You're
human.
Yeah, it happens, but you really try to maintain, and we're all real people, and sometimes we don't know if somebody's had a bad night or bad day, and you want to deal with everybody on a human level. And that's what I've maintained, and also I've always tried to put together crews that you do have kind of that family feel, that when people are done at the end of the day, they don't just like run out, rush off, and get out of Dodge. Some people would hang out, especially on a Friday after we finished filming, and, hang and just, spend some time, chatting and talking. And that to me was always a true indicator of people liked being there. They like working. You're never going to have a perfect set. You're never. There's always going to be a few things in there. But what you're trying to do is make it just a few things out of hundreds. Not have, everybody just hate each other. I've been on those shows earlier in my career. There were some, shows where, man, as soon as you heard, that's a wrap for the day, people were like, getting out of there and we're more than happy to get off a set and not want to see anybody. And it's just not fun. I mean, look, we're in a great business. We love what we do. And, to enjoy it every day, that's pretty cool, when you think about, the jobs that are out there in this world, Yeah. And you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have bad days. Everybody has bad days. But,
totally.
At the end of the day, we try to keep it all together.
One of my favorite memories is, like you said, like nobody was trying to get out of Dodge on Friday nights. It was like we all just stuck around. Like we'd say, okay, that's a wrap. And then we'd just kind of just hang out. We just hang out on set or, on the lot or whatever on Friday nights. And my favorite thing were these amazing little drinks. It was like Werner is working. When Werner's working, you come on set, you're very tall.
Very tall.
Very tall man. If he's coming on set to tell you can't be tardy, okay, Werner's here. He's here to tell us we gotta cut that. We can't go overtime. Great. And then that's a wrap on Friday nights. You whip out the Werneritas.
The Werneritas.
Oh my God. And you were laughing and you made everyone else laugh. And we would like huddle around. You'd be like, the funnest guy on set. Yes.
Werner can actually be fun.
And it really, I think it made a difference though, being like, oh yeah, it shows that like, oh, you have a respect and a love for everyone around you. We're here to have a good time when we've gotten the work done. But you're also here, it makes the professionalism so much more valuable when it like, and it gives it a new meaning when you can see a new light to someone.
Absolutely.
And like, it just, you're very good at having the human aspect.
Thank you.
We could talk for hours, but I have a lot of questions about this specific episode. So if you're ready, guys, let's get into the episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Werner, did you do your homework?
I did.
Okay, good.
From a show that we shot how many years ago?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Season 2, would that be 2010? Yeah, about 15 years ago.
God, that's nearly half my life.
Crazy. Werner, what first thoughts when you going back all those years? You click a little link and you're teleported to that time and rewatching this episode. What was like your first initial thought before we actually dive into the actual minutia of it?
The very first thought was how good that show and the series is and was.
It's good.
You forget about it, and then when you do come back, it really was such a good episode, such a good series. And those things, are rare. They really are. So that was number one. And then the producer hat comes on and you start thinking about all the production elements that were involved.
Right.
And for me, if you guys remember, we really didn't leave the lot that much over the 9 seasons.
We remember.
Yeah.
And that was part of, producing, trying to keep the show controlled with a 5-day, per episode shoot. And sometimes, leaving the lot means getting into cars and trucks and going somewhere and eating up time. And it's all about time. But that particular episode is one of the rarer episodes where we actually left the lot for a good amount of scenes. And we maybe did that once or twice a season. Sometimes we didn't, but we really stayed at the ranch, the lot, and found our nooks and crannies everywhere on that lot. Little corners, little woods and things like that. So that episode, definitely from a production standpoint, just stood out as one of the bigger ones that we left, the lot.
Which I have to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that feels rare. Obviously for a multicam, like you really just stay on the lot. But
right.
like for a single cam, you I feel like you do and are allowed to and do go on location for things. I had never worked on anything where it was truly, like you said, like we got every nook and cranny out of that, however many square feet or acres that ranch was.
Yeah.
We never left.
And a lot has to do with, Atticus was a minor, and, he's limited to how many hours he can work. And when you break it down, the actual amount of hours that he can, actually, film is a very small amount of hours. And he was written pretty heavily into some episodes. And so, you are trying again to make sure that you can get his work done within the day. Also, you lose minors at a certain time of day, night. We did Halloween episodes where it would get dark at, we'd have to sit there and wait for it to get dark at 8:30. And I only have the minors until 10 o'clock. So
oh my gosh.
We shot a Halloween episode, over 5 days for a couple hours each night of kids outside at night. And those are the headaches, But yeah, that's why we tried to stay on the lot as much as possible.
I have a question actually before we get into it. So with Werner, because you're talking about your creativity, you like when you can tap into that. And if something's written into a script or you have a conversation with Eileen and Deanne, when it comes to you, what is the difference between like a hard no, we cannot do that versus like, we can do this, but we have to sacrifice X, Y, and Z. Where's that line for you? Because you also have the creativity working in your favor as well.
I mean, what you try to do when I get that script and I break it down and I read it and I look at everything from sets to effects and if there's animals and you look at everything and you try as a producer to produce the entire episode without having to have a conversation with anybody and saying we can't do that. I try to never say the word no. I try to never say no, you can't. But like you were saying, Brock, there are ways to have that conversation to know that you can't do it, but hey, is there another way that we can do this? And then yes, try to come up with options. And it might be something as simple as another location that still gets the story, still gets the jokes, but it's not a location that is on top of a cliff. It might be somewhere else. Or sometimes writers, forget to remember that we have standing sets that we can actually still use for a particular scene as opposed to building a new set or, going on location. So it's really breaking it down like that, going through and just saying, okay, how can we pull this off? And then there are times where you ask, you guys remember we have, we have strips, each scene of the day. Scenes get laid out in strips. And sometimes you only have 3, sometimes you have 5, sometimes you have 10, just depends. And it's all about getting those scenes done, those strips done in that day. And sometimes we had too many strips. You just have too many. So it's, can we lose something? Can we make a cut? Now, writers don't want to cut anything. They want to keep everything. But then a miracle happens. You get into editing and all of a sudden you lose this scene and lose that scene and that scene. So it always turns out to be, hey, we could have lost that scene. But you want to let the writers try everything and then make that decision later if they can. But sometimes you just don't get there and you have to make some cuts. So you'll pitch and make options.
But it's nice that you have the creativity, like you said, that's kind of, if you're going to say no or no with a caveat, you have to offer an option as opposed to just saying no, because then no one enjoys that process.
That's
having the creativity to be like, I love all these jokes. They could absolutely work in the kitchen as opposed to putting it somewhere else.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And what's interesting is there are things sometimes that you will think, oh, this is never going to make it. This is going to get cut. And it doesn't.
Right.
And there are other things like, oh, this is gold. This is going to stay. And it gets cut. And Eden, I'm sure you've noticed, I don't know, if you watched episodes and sometimes you're like, wow, that whole scene's gone,
Yes.
I mean, that's happened. Complete scenes that, that were, a new set or, whatever. I think one year I was teasing Dan and Eileen and I was just like, hey, I just want to give you the heads up. After, season whatever, I went through and just did the math on all the things that we cut, sets and locations and this and that. And it came out to about $1 million. I said, that comes kind of out of your private participation. Just, keep that in mind maybe for next year. They laughed and, look, again, you're never going to be. But you know what? As a producer, you got to remind people that every so often because you forget about it. You really do.
Checks and balances. Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're finally getting into the episode. All right, we started out. We're in the kitchen, as we always are. And Axel has made varsity, which I still don't know what that means.
Don't lie to me. You went to high school. Don't lie to me on this podcast.
There was no sports team. Are you kidding me? At my little public charter performing arts high school, I don't know what that meant. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go along for the ride on this one.
Okay.
That might have to be a separate podcast.
Yes,
right.
But that's the beauty of this episode is that even if you don't know what that means, in context, you get it immediately.
Correct.
Because Frankie spells it out for us. She is thrilled for Axel. So we know it's something good. But she is secretly thrilled for herself because she gets to escort Axel onto the field for the homecoming game. And their mother-son moments are fleeting, so she is definitely looking forward to this.
I was looking, Ken Whittingham directed this episode, and I think this is our first episode that he's done where there's no crane shot. We had him on the podcast, and that man loves a crane shot.
And that's and the funny thing is, part of my job as a producer is to, you try to give the director the tools and things that they want.
Right.
But again, you can't give them everything. And so, there are times when a director will ask for a crane and you're like, can we just, put this on the dolly and get a riser for the same shot or handheld on top of a ladder. And sometimes you can,
He used a dolly and he used a ladder. He used it all.
Yeah.
But no crane.
Yeah, he did.
The next day, Mike decides it's time for Brick to pull his weight around the house and do some chores. Brick's gonna rake the leaves. After Brick reluctantly agrees, Sue comes skipping in with her cross-country schedule. Her first meet is scheduled for the same time as Axel's homecoming game. Ruh-roh. Eden, did you know what homecoming was?
No.
Eden,
I know there's a homecoming dance.
Human being in society.
I still don't fully understand it. I literally watched the episode. I'm still like, I enjoyed this episode. I understand everything in context. I got all the emotions. I don't it's the first game, right?
Yeah.
Is it the first game of the season?
Yeah. And real quick, varsity is the highest level of high school sport. It starts off freshman, junior varsity. And so if you make varsity, that's the highest level. And some kids can make varsity in their freshman year. And these are the kids that go on to probably get into college sports and things like that.
Varsity is a series regular. Just think of it that way. You're
Exactly.
aiming towards varsity level.
Probably 1 through 5 on the call sheet.
Okay, got it. Above the line. Okay,
Number 20, 21 might be freshman, and in between is junior varsity. So,
got it.
All right?
Freshman is a co-star. Junior varsity is a guest star, recurring guest star, and then we got our series regulars in the varsity.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I mean, look, I have 4 kids, and there have been some situations where both parents should be at the same event, and sometimes you can't be. And we're trying to figure out, all right, which kid are we going to hurt or piss off?
And rumor has it, Werner, you always just choose your favorite, and that's the one you're sticking to.
I basically have no favorite, so it really doesn't matter,
So you never need to go to anything.
Never went.
All right, Werner, you ready for your acting chops?
Oh, yeah. So,
you're up.
Yeah, here we go. Well, Frankie's distraught. This is Sue's first thing ever, but she can't miss the opportunity to escort Axel. When Mike and Frankie try to break it to Sue that they're going to have to miss her meet, Sue blindly assumes Frankie will still be there. And Frankie doesn't have the heart to correct her.
What are you thinking, Werner? So these are pretty normal standard scenes going through this. Anything that's popping out, the backyard stuff, or does this feel pretty typical, pretty normal? Okay, we've got these house scenes. We're right in our sweet spot.
Yeah, the house scenes, all that stuff, right in our sweet spot. One of the things, when it gets to the backyard, we were able to, shoot all that backyard stuff with the leaf raking on the lot. and tie it into the house with the reactions of Mike and this and that. But yeah, as we get into this deeper stuff, then things really start opening up.
Wait, I have a couple questions about location wise, and I was going to save it for when I was running, but I realized I forgot about this with Mike looking through the
window,
the
Kitchen window. Yeah.
Do you remember? Was that the outside window, or did we shoot that on stage? Did you guys shoot that on stage? Was that a fake? Was that inside?
We it's funny. I can't remember, but we did it both ways. Now, it was always best to shoot that angle on stage because you have the full depth of the kitchen set. Everything looks, deep. We did have a backing that we created that we put into the on-lot house set so that when we did shoot into the window from a farther distance, it would look like the inside of the house. But whenever we were that tight on the window, we did that on stage. So some of that work is on stage, and then the reverse angle is through a window out on the
when you're
lawn.
literally seeing Brick with the leaves out there because he's loosely outside.
That was probably an easy week for Atticus, right? Because it was. I feel like all of his stuff was just right. Like you shot everything, all of his leave sequence.
Yeah, that was definitely an easier week. Yeah, for him.
Yeah. One day, yeah, for him. Was he at? No, he was at the actual homecoming.
Yeah,
he's
in the stands.
Because
Bob
gets to keep an eye on him.
Right. For all of 3 seconds.
Okay, so here we are. We're now. Frankie is in. What the hell is this word, Brock? Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance. Recon mode.
Oh, that's where recon comes from. Did I go to school? Did I? I don't know what homecoming is. Don't know what varsity is, and I was about to say Renaissance. Didn't know. Okay. Frankie is in recon mode to get her to Axel's game. She tries with Sue while they are at Ehlert's, and she tries with Axel on the couch, but nothing seems to work. Mike has got good news. He got the coach to move the meet up so that Frankie can do both. I was so confused. I will say I was confused on the timeline of this episode. I was like, wait a second. Is the next, how many days are passing right now? And maybe that's probably part of your job too, Werner, is like somehow, or I don't know whose job that is figuring out the days.
That's where the script supervisor really comes in handy.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
It takes place over the course of I would guess 2 weeks because they say it takes Brick 11 days to do the leaves.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Axel makes varsity, and because homecoming is usually the first game of the season, they have a couple of practices leading up to day 14.
Yeah.
Which is probably the game.
Yeah, I think your 2 week is a good estimate.
The Ehlert's thing, was there a scene that was cut though? Why was I was so confused about it. I was like, and I remember, I think I was confused on the day. Why was I at Ehlert's painting? Was that a thing? I was like, we got to get them in the same scene. It has to be at Ehlert's.
Well, because Ehlert's a sponsor, no?
Yeah. But while you're there, I think it's just, that's the tradition where, everybody joins in and paints and sets up decorations and banners everywhere for homecoming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was genuinely logic lost. I didn't have any context for this episode.
It was funny, watching it did to me. And again, I can't remember if we did make any cuts, but yeah, all of a sudden you pop in and I see you, painting on one of the windows, and I'm like, oh wow, there's Sue.
All I could think of, I know there was not a cloud in that sky when you're at Ehlert's, and I know it was 90 degrees in August, and I know you were in that sweatshirt.
I do want to talk about the heat on this episode.
Do it. Let's talk about it now.
So yeah, the thing is, we shot this in August, and this is supposed to be Indiana, and homecoming in Indiana starts getting a little cooler. It's fall. When we get into the football game, you'll notice the extras are wearing jackets and beanies, and it was 105 degrees that day we shot that football game.
Oh my
God. Ehlert's, I remember how hot it was there, and everybody's just dying. We just had one of these crazy August heat waves, and we're trying to make everybody feel like they're bundled up. I mean, it wasn't snowing or anything, but it was, colder weather. And I think we actually had a couple of extras go down with some heat exhaustion. I mean, nobody, went to the
no
hospital,
surprise.
but we had to keep an eye on people. It was a tough day. Seeing everybody bundled up like that.
Wait, so then Werner, can I ask, so when you're trying to plan all of this, and obviously when you're doing a lot of the days, when you're trying to schedule it in advance, you don't necessarily know what the weather's going to be, do you ever make a last minute adjustment when it comes to weather, or do you just say, here we go, make sure we got ice packs at the ready?
Yeah, I think the only time we have to make those adjustments is when it's, like rain. When the rain's coming, that's when we have to make the adjustments. When it comes to heat, when it comes to cold, we shot sometimes on cold nights. We'd have special effects out there with the heaters, keep everybody warm. And on the days where it's hot, we do have cooling tents. We had, misters, things like that. But yeah, we don't really move around for that. But when it comes to rain, and it hit us sometimes where we did have to make some scheduling changes because of the bad weather.
Of course.
But
the 3 days a year it rains in Los Angeles
exactly.
are the days we're
and
shooting
it
outside.
always rained on the day that I've got a location. It was like, really?
Yeah.
But the thing, especially doing a show like The Middle, which, as we're in Indiana, has 4 seasons. You have winter, you have fall, you have different looks. That was one of the challenges of doing The Middle in Los Angeles. It stays green the whole time, Yeah, we do have trees that lose leaves, but the majority of the time it's green. And so, getting into this particular episode, we took a lot of color out. So if you can visualize the scenes that were out when Sue is running cross country, when Brick is raking leaves, it's a lot. We took the green out of the grass in post. We just pulled green out of that. We added color to the trees, browned up the trees. So all of that is not the true look of what that looked like. It was all very green. And so if you watch the episode, you're going to see, brown leaves, maybe some orange in there. The grass looks a little brown. And so, we did that with all episodes that needed to, reflect a season. The hardest was, winter snow, because really most of your trees are going to lose their leaves, right? You're going to have bare trees. Well, if you remember shooting on Blondie Street with all those full trees out there, those trees were not going to lose their leaves. So the only thing we could do was take out the green and make them just ugly brown, and take out the green out of the grass and make it brown. And you can do that with visual effects. So, and the other thing is palm trees and mountains, which are all over the place in LA. We would, have an angle with a couple of palm trees. We would get rid of that. Mountains, Indiana is pretty flat. So, we'd have the mountains surround us that we would have to remove. All little tricks to try to give us a closer feel of Indiana. So this episode in particular really took a lot, to give it that look.
I did not know the post thing. That is really, really, sorry, the taking out the color. That is, it looks, you cannot tell.
Yeah.
You really cannot tell.
And it's, the technology, I mean, we're talking, this was, 15 years ago. The technology today is so much easier and better. I mean, there's stuff going on now where, and I know everybody, the AI of it in our business, people are questioning, but there are some situations where I can, put words that you've recorded in your mouth, but on a different take, but make it match your lips now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or do ADR and make it match your, lips better than it did before. The technology that's out there is pretty cool.
It's incredible.
It's not taking a job away, and that's always the concern of everybody. But it's because you're still working. We're still paying everybody. It's just what it allows us is, I don't know if you guys there are many episodes where we're on somebody's back of their head, dropping in an ADR line. And the reason
it's funny enough, we just had a fan call into the voicemail last week that was like, there's something in season 5 with this sound. What's going on? And so we went looking for it, and are like, oh, that was Patricia Heaton, 2-time Emmy Award winner, doing some ADR.
and ADR is your last resort.
Right.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we would throw the dialogue on the back of somebody's head because, you get the head moving, you can do that. But now with technology, we can actually throw it on your face and change your lips and mouth to match the words, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
Okay, so After Brick spent 11 days collecting leaves with his extraordinary attention to detail, he finished. But there's a catch. He wants to release them into the wild.
You did it! Took you 11 days to do a job that should take an hour, but you did it. All by yourself. Doesn't it feel good?
It really does.
You're growing up fast, Brick. Really fast.
I know. Can you tie my shoe?
It is finally homecoming. Mike's stuck sitting next to Bob in the bleachers, and Frankie's stuck at Sue's meet. The clock is ticking, and Sue still hasn't crossed the finish line. Frankie finds Sue on the trail and follows along in her car and confesses she wants to wear a pretty, returnable dress and have a special moment with Axel. And finally, Sue comes around, and they race to the football game. Now, with all of that, location-wise, so Sue was doing cross-country, and Axel was playing football. We tried to find locations that were close to each other, because what you're trying to do is, again, eliminate wasted time. What you don't want to do is shoot the football game way off, let's say 50 miles away, and cross country 50 miles the other direction. You're trying to, with locations, build a day. So all the locations can shoot in that day. So you have to find locations that are close to each other. So the high school that we shot at was in Van Nuys, Birmingham High School.
Which is my local high school.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was 3 blocks from where I grew up.
Oh, I did not know that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that school is shot, a lot has shot at that school. It's a very film-friendly school.
Yeah.
So we shot there, and then literally just down the street is Lake Balboa. And that's where, there's some wooded areas. Obviously, there's the lake and this and that, but there's some fun little areas. And so we scouted that, and that's where we did the cross-country running. And we also found
I would have sworn that was in the ranch,
Yeah.
in like one of those little corners.
Yeah, which we've done stuff like that at the ranch.
Yeah, I was going to say,
This one just needed a little more real estate. We just couldn't, with the car driving at night. And then Brick releasing the leaves was also done at Lake Balboa in a separate section out there. But those two locations were close to each other.
Was any of the cross-country running stuff on the ranch?
The start of the race, the running of the race, running through the woods, all of that was on location. The driving, I thought, was on location. Could we have done it in the back area? Maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I really thought I have such a memory.
But the running was definitely at Lake Balboa.
Yes, that I knew, because I was like, I have to ask Werner where this, I was like, I have a memory of where exactly the car stuff happened on the ranch. I have a memory of being, Patty finishing her take and walking back to my trailer, my regular trailer. But then I was like,
maybe we shot that. Yeah, the driving at the ranch. Maybe we had, because I know later on, at the ranch, they built that house back in that area where we couldn't shoot there anymore. But maybe before that house was built, we shot back there. There's a possibility, yeah.
Okay, right. And maybe I'm wrong. I've contrived a lot of memories over the years.
No, because nighttime, we can, we have a lot more liberties. We can hide a lot of stuff at night. So there's a good chance that we just shot on a section of there. But definitely the running, all of that was done at Lake Balboa and Brick raking the leaves.
Wow.
I will say I do remember, if you'll check, or if you'll see, I was there. I obviously was supposed to be sweaty because of running, but I remember that was one of the days where they were like touch ups or last looks, and they were like, "You're good,
you're good,
you're sweaty.
Roll the cameras.
It's hot."
That worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sue's she's not, they raced to the football game, but unfortunately, Frankie did not, in fact, end up walking Axel down the field. They got stuck in traffic, which I didn't realize that was going to be a false. I was like, oh, wow, what a tidy resolution.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, right. And after an awkward half hug and handshake between Mike and Axel, which I thought was very funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah. The game begins. Axel has the ball and is about to score a touchdown when he gets tackled hard. And Frankie, this was absolutely unhinged, desperate for that mother-son moment, rushes to the field.
Her racing down, her little kitten heels coming off as she's running, tag in the back.
I could not. I was like, Just from I haven't seen these episodes in at least 15 years. Some of them I haven't seen ever. So I have forgotten almost everything, especially if I'm not in the storyline. Like I don't remember. I barely remember my own stories. When this started when Frankie was gone, I was like, that's weird. I was like, I'm cringing. Oh no. And I guess that's what the audience is supposed to do. But my God.
It's good. Oh, it's good.
That's the last thing a boy wants their mom to run out on the field and tend to them. My youngest one, he played a lot of sports, and he had probably 3 concussions over his time playing basketball, football, baseball, and you're sitting in the bleachers, you're sitting in the stands, and you see your kid go down. Not moving, and I'm looking at my wife. Don't go, don't go. He'll be fine. But those are real moments, especially when you've got a kid, in high school sports.
Can you remind us? Can you just tell me one thing? How? Because obviously we have to shoot all the bleachers, and then we just shoot the actual football game. Because I can't remember how many days. And it could only happen at night. How many days were we at Birmingham?
We might have been overall shooting 2 days on location, but we might have been able to pull off Birmingham in a day.
Because you have some day stuff and then you have the night stuff. Same with cross country.
Right. And I think because what you don't want to do is spend a half a day on a location. You want to make it a full day. So I'm trying to think if it was broken up where we might have shot the day stuff, football, and day cross country in the same day, and then all the night stuff on another day. That's possible. But I can't remember either. But I do know that what you try to do is, again, this is more for the budget. You bring in all those extras. You want to get the majority of all their work done, up front, especially all those shots,
right,
with Ehlert and this and that. And then as you end the day and shooting down towards the football field, now you've lost most of those extras and this and that. So that's kind of, you also shoot in an order to financially make sense. So you're not sitting on 300 extras for 14 hours.
It's a tough job. You've got a real you have the job of a producer and an AD in one.
A lot of spinning plates.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, the Heck family gets home and a mortified Axel storms into his room. Frankie apologizes to Axel and rubs his back while doing so. And when Axel says she doesn't have to stop, Frankie realizes, in a true middle moment, it's not about the big public moments. It's about the little ones. And of course, Mike comes around and takes Brick to release the leaves in Balboa Park in Los Angeles.
I'm sorry. Night.
Don't have to stop.
What?
I mean, he hit me really hard, it kind of hurts.
I guess that's the thing about being a mom. You never really have to stop. You just have to start learning to do it in private. But that's okay. In the end, it's not about those big public moments. It's the little moments.
What a fun. I'm so glad we had something like this. What I like having you for an episode like this, Werner, is that we have a nice from like the outside perspective, we have a question kind of like this. From an outside perspective, doesn't seem like a tricky episode. It's not like a big one that like is going to stick out to fans, but there's still a lot of elements that you have to deal with. The locations, the outside, going outside of the ranch, 300 extras. I like that we had you on for this episode. And I'm very curious now, just for me and Brock, for this next episode, for 203, because I don't remember what it is at all. I will be very curious to see how I'm going to be keeping track of how many locations and how many guest stars we have in it. Because I'm sure you were like, okay, we did it. Next one, let's keep it in. Stay on the lot, guys.
And that's the thing, with doing 24 episodes a year, that's a lot of production. And it's a lot on the writers. I mean, the writers have, so much. I'm sorry I couldn't remember some of the locations because, man, after doing so many episodes and other things over the years, you do start forgetting certain things. It's pretty
Werner,
funny.
I'm going to tell you something, and Eden, I say this with my whole heart. You remembered more than you have in this episode than Eden has this entire time we've done this podcast.
Yeah. You retained more about your job on this one singular episode. Take that in, Werner, than I have in, now we've 27 episodes.
Right.
26 episodes.
That's awesome.
So fret not.
Right.
So now, Werner, we won't keep you forever, but we got to do our classic blue bag grab. This is a game we like to play. If you remember, do you remember the blue bag?
I do remember the blue bag.
Okay. So here's what we do. It's just we pick trivia out of the bag and we will ask you a bunch of questions. Some of them have right and wrong answers. Some of them have no wrong answers.
I think, Werner, I'm starting out easy. How many episodes of The Middle were there?
215.
Okay,
Wow.
good. Okay, good.
Wow,
That's a nice,
starting off strong.
that's a nice, easy
right?
one. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, we're doing a rapid fire. Top of your head, what was the most expensive stunt, shot, or moment on The Middle?
There were so many.
Give us top three.
Let me give you. It wasn't really a moment. It was an episode that the writers pitched to me as, this one's going to save us money. This will be the episode that we're going to make up on. And it was the episode where we were on the airplane. Hex on the plane?
Oh my God. Oh.
That's a classic.
And everybody thought, the actors they're just sitting in seats, And we shot that one on location, if you remember, it was a facility that actually had fuselages and other bits of planes that we could shoot in, but you have to take them apart. So every angle that you shoot in these planes, you got to remove left wall, right wall, ceiling, this and that. And it's not just, one camera on it. It's covering everybody. And it turned into one of the most expensive episodes because of the amount of hours it took us to shoot it. And on top of that, we had to do green screen for a bunch of elements because you're looking out, windows and this and that. And green screen, especially back in those days, was very expensive. Every shot could be $700. And so, you could be $50, $100, $200,000 in just green screen effects. And that happened to us a few times on some other episodes. It was also Hex on a Train, which is the same thing.
Yes.
It's all that green screen looking out the window. All those shots, have to be dropped in, with elements. So it was episodes that were pitched to me as, these are going to be cheap and easy, that wound up being actually some of the more expensive, harder episodes to do.
Wow.
That's so funny because you literally also just answered.
I was just going to say,
question.
So this we already kind of have a little bit of the
it.
answer. I said, obviously there's complicated episodes where you think of like Disney World or like me and Eden's musical number, but like what looks like a normal episode from a viewer that ended up being one of the more complicated ones.
But that was it.
That feels like it's that.
Yeah.
And
it is that.
Yeah. Going back to, the most expensive, the Christmas episode where we snowed the entire Blondie Street, if you remember.
I do remember.
I mean, we laid snow from the Heck House all the way up the street down to the other end. And then, if you remember, the Hex drove through the neighborhood to see all the decorations. And, it was that beautiful Candy Cane Lane type of feel that we created. Now, to do that outside, in somebody's neighborhood would have been cost prohibitive. So we did it on the lot. But you're talking, we're snowing an entire neighborhood and then laying enough lights that I think we needed 3 generators to power it. And somebody made a joke that Google, up satellite could actually see how we glowed in that area because we had so many lights on. I mean, it looked fantastic. It was awesome looking, but that was a very expensive and big moment episode.
Wow. Love it.
Wow. No sustainability coordinator on ABC's The Middle in 2009. 2010, definitely. But it looked fantastic.
It would have been all LED now, so.
Right.
Yeah. My God. Okay. So, again, I guess this is more budget stuff, but it is so interesting.
Yeah.
How much of a heads up do you get for big tentpole episodes like Disney World? Like, do you know that at the beginning of the season? How much warning do you get for stuff like that?
Yeah, so Disney World was a completely different. That was ABC and Disney coming to us months in advance. First going to Dan and Eileen and saying, "Hey, would you guys be interested in doing an episode of Disney World?" And they actually, I think, flew Dan and Eileen out there and, showed them around. And then a couple months later, it started becoming more reality. Dan and Eileen felt like, yeah, I think we can do this. And then I flew out there and got the whole pitch and lay of the land and started making notes and figuring things out. So that was an episode that was months and months and months in the planning. And we decided to shoot it towards the end of the season as opposed to disrupting the middle of the season. So that's the complete extreme, having all that time. But you really can't do anything until you have a script. So even though, we've got an idea that we're going to shoot there, I need a script to really figure out what are we doing? Where do we need? And so once the script came out, that wasn't months in advance. It was early enough in advance to give me an idea. Then had to go out there again and start scouting the actual locations. We're shooting this here, we're shooting this here, blah, blah, blah. And also trying to make it all work within our schedule. Because we did shoot some scenes on our lot, that weren't all Disney World.
Right, yeah.
So that was the extreme there. In most cases, I really wouldn't get months in advance heads up on anything. I get to see an outline, and then I can start formulating a game plan. And sometimes an outline would come out, a couple of months ahead of time.
That's good.
Oh, okay. But again, not like streaming. Like you really, you have to be a certain personality type to work in network comedy.
Yeah, it's just rigorous.
Yeah.
All right, Werner, final one. I hope this one is middle-based trivia. It's based on the episode you watched. Last one. From this episode, when all was said and done, how many garbage bags of leaves did Brick end up filling?
Was it 10?
Subtract 8, and you're there.
I guess I didn't pay attention.
It was. It's
had
okay.
A lot of locations on your mind.
A lot of locations.
Yeah.
Only 2.
That is hilarious.
Only 2.
Took him 11 days to fill 2 bags.
Right.
That's funny.
Werner, this was I was saying right before we recorded, I've been clamoring to get you on. I'm so excited our schedules finally aligned because I find this stuff really interesting. I know Eden does, and I think our listeners do as well. It's fascinating to hear about what goes into making, people's favorite television show.
Yeah. No, it's great seeing you guys. Brings back some great memories.
It's
Sam,
fantastic.
What a delight. What a delight you are. I'm so happy for you to just keep working, and I will be when Brock and I eventually have our own next show. I can't wait for you to contact you and you be not available.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, Werner.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I first love Werner, and 2, what I remembered as we were kind of wrapping up with him, that because you just mentioned you have a meeting with Julia, our costumer, for your show, that all the crew members too, I think also really respect Werner. I remember when we recorded with Julia for this, she was like, and you guys, Werner Walian is so great, and just gushed, she adores him. And I think in order to be a successful line producer, you have to have all the qualities, but then also cultivate these really nice relationships with your department heads. And he does amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be able to tell Julia that the reason I had to push a little bit was because I was talking to Werner.
Yeah.
What a great feeling that I don't have to hide it. I don't have to be like, no, I'm going to make up some excuse. I'm like,
Right.
no. I get to be like, I was just talking. He's just going to understand.
Yeah.
He's just like, of course you were talking to Werner.
Okay, so Eden, we have some listener voicemails. The first one is from Amy.
Amy, let's hear you.
Hey, Brock. Hey, Eden. I just had the best time listening to the last episode, especially when Eden was talking about the correct way to say jalapeno or jalapeno. And we lived in Chicago for forever, and we said it the Midwest way, and then we moved down to Oklahoma, and it was much more of a jalapeno, and I'm still not saying it right. I get caught on that word all the time to the point where I never use that word, and my kids make fun of me all the time. But I just wanted to let you know that I love the specifics of the middle. I feel like every single time, whether it's in the show or in your podcast, there is some kind of reference that completely pertains to me. It's like you've been following me around or something, and I just love that. I also wanted to say that the music to your podcast could not be any more perfect because all I can ever picture is Brad and Sue dancing to that music, and it makes me smile every time. But love listening to you. You guys are a riot. Keep it up, and just thanks for a really great time every week. Take care.
Oh, Amy.
First and foremost, Amy, the sound quality of whatever you were recording on was incredible.
Yeah, that was really great. Really clear. We love a clear VM. VM, not BM.
Right.
That'd be weird. No, I have to say, I love the following me around with a camera comment. I feel like we get that, and it is nice to hear every single time. I love the idea of you saying, like, do you want it spicy with do you want the green things on it? You know, do you want those spicy slices of the pepper? That
Any
really
way to
specific
avoid
pepper?
the word.
Any way to avoid it? Or just like never have anything spicy. Have your kids be like, Mom, why did we grow up only eating the blandest food? Because I couldn't say jalapeno.
Well, also too, after listening to that and her confirming that it's jalapeno, right? Is that
she
what
said? Jalapeno, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad whoever was running the ADR booth and whoever made you redo it. Then I said,
Eileen.
you know what? Good. Eileen.
Yeah, it was Eileen.
Ultimately, those like the things that I think people sink their teeth into, you get big laughs and stuff, but like that relatability, it's so minute, but that's the thing that like gets people hooked and they're like, oh my God, this is a family from the Midwest, because that's how everyone says jalapeno, or they say pop instead of soda.
Exactly. You don't realize it's all the little things together that either like they cultivate a real, you're just like sucked into the reality of it, or when it's not, you don't know why, but something just feels off.
Yeah.
And it's like, because it doesn't feel, you can't relate to the other real stuff if you're not buying into the reality of it, of the whole world. And those little things, they add up. They're details that make it, like the devs in the deets.
The Tev is in the deeds.
God, just leave me, Brock.
He's always in those deeds. That Dev loves to hang out in those deeds. Okay, so next week we're gonna do episode 203. It's my first episode of season 2, the diaper incident, and we have our director for that episode, Wendy Stanzler, is our guest.
It has been a saga trying to get her on. She is a busy woman.
But she's here. She's doing it.
I'm so excited.
You need to go.
I need to get the hell out of here. I need to leave. I need to eat some food. I need to drink my third cup of coffee.
And I love you. I'm giving you a big hug. And I'll see
so much,
you next week.
I love you. Bye.
Bye, sweet girl.